Jennifer is a 30-year-old biracial woman. Father was Caucasian, mother is Filipino. She grew up in Seattle but now resides in Scarborough, Maine. Her father died when she was 3 years old, and her mother remarried shortly thereafter. Jennifer's stepfather had an explosive temper, and while he never physically abused she and her brother, the entire family lived in fear of his outbursts. Jennifer's mother became more and more withdrawn as the years went on. She went through long periods of what she called feeling blue. During these times, she would sleep off and on most of the day, cry frequently, and didn't have the energy to complete even the most basic household tasks. Jennifer always swore to herself that her life would be different. She married an even-tempered man, Jeremy, who is kind and reliable. She is the proud mother of 3 wonderful children, ages 2, 4, and 7. Jennifer is a stay-at-home mom, and her life revolves around her family. She does have a number of casual friends, also young mothers, that she has coffee with outside the home, but she has not maintained any deep relationships in the years since she stopped working. Jennifer and her husband, a physician, moved to Maine 3 years ago when he was offered a position at Maine Medical Center. Jennifer reports that she has not felt right since the move. She describes herself as unmotivated and tired all the time. Jennifer frequently cries and often feels hopeless. When asked if she would ever harm herself, Jennifer denies that she would, but does go on to say that sometimes she wishes she would fall asleep and never wake up again. Jennifer eventually undergoes a psychiatric evaluation and is diagnosed with major depression.
So just some background on Jennifer's finances and insurance. Jennifer does not work and is a stay-at-home mom. However, her husband Jeremy makes $200,000 a year and is a physician at Maine Med. Their insurance plan covers any appointments that are willing to take their specific plan. This means they have access to clinical psychologists, PAs, doctors' offices, clinical social workers, and more. We would assume based off Jeremy's job that they would have an advanced version of their plan. However, these plans vary on what they cover. Therefore, we went with the original expected plan for physicians at Maine Med, on average. This information was given to us by Anthem, which is their insurance provider. A year, they have a high deductible, so in a given year, they put $7,000 placed into an HSA account. An HSA account is a private account where they can put money in for medical emergencies. This is only for people with high deductibles. Over the course of the video, Jennifer has several appointments and also considers different forms of treatment and options for her kids. So we just wanted to go over the expenses that would be the outcome of these visits or these possible choices that she makes later on. First, during the video, you'll see that she goes to a multicultural therapist. The average cost per session for the one that she will be seeing is $120 to $150, and this does not take insurance. She goes to a physician's appointment, which is a standard doctor's appointment, and this ranges from a $20 copay to being completely covered by her insurance. Spiral Tree Yoga is an option that she considers, and this ranges from $5 to $115. However, we would assume that she would be paying $15, which is the drop-in rate. She considers Roots and Fruits Preschool, which is $120 per week if she considers going full-time. However, if she just wants to partially enroll her kids, she can pay $50 for a morning session and $60 for random full-time visits throughout the week. She also sees an herbalist for a single session, and this ranges from $30 to $40 as a copay, and insurance will cover the rest. Insurance will cover in full depending on her plan, and if the insurance were to not do that, it could be upwards of $100 per session.
Hi Jennifer, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you, Dr. Cheney?
Good. How is everything? Your vital signs look really good, really healthy. How's everything at home?
It's okay.
Good, just okay?
Well, I feel like I really haven't been feeling myself recently and just don't really feel right.
Yeah, tell me more about that.
Well, I'm feeling very unmotivated doing things around the house, and I'm tired all the time. I feel very hopeless about certain things, and I find myself crying a lot over small little things.
Yeah, I am really sorry to hear about that. That does happen. How is everything physically? You're doing good? Okay. So I do have someone in office that can talk to you today, like a counselor. if you're willing to do that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I just have to have you sign a medical release form really quick. I'll go run and get that.
Okay.
Put it simply, a medical release form gives certain physicians and caregivers in the medical field permission to discuss a client's private medical information. This helps in regards to Jennifer's case because it allows not only the physician, but Megan, the LCSW, to discuss and find the best form of treatment for Jennifer. Without the client's signature on a form like this, physicians and caregivers in the medical field are not allowed to discuss the medical information of the client.
Hey, I do have someone who would like to see you today. I had her sign the medical release form. She just says she hasn't been feeling herself lately, and I think it would be a really good idea for her to talk to you.
Okay, awesome. Would you just let me know a little bit about what did she have to say?
Yeah, so she said that things at home haven't really been going well. I asked her a little more about that. She seemed a little hesitant. I think you could really get her to talk about things a little more.
Okay, great. She's here now?
Yeah, she's right out there. I can go get her.
Yeah, I have some free time now.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Hi, I'm Megan.
Jennifer.
Nice to meet you.
You too.
Why don't you come on in and sit down? So, Dr. Cheney was telling me a little bit about how you're just not feeling right or okay. Would you be willing to share a little bit more about that with me?
Sure. So, I just feel very unmotivated at home and like I'm tired all the time. I feel like periods of hopelessness and like I just find myself crying sometimes at like small things that I shouldn't be.
Okay, and how long would you say this has been going on?
I say probably since about the time that my husband and I moved to Maine.
Why don't you tell me a little bit about what your life was like before you moved to Maine?
So I came here from Seattle, and like before that, my biological father died when I was 3, and then my mother remarried, and my stepfather was very like, he had a lot of like rage, and he would have like outbursts and stuff, and while he never actually hurt us, we always were afraid of what was going to happen, and my mother started to have similar symptoms to what I have right now, and feeling like periods of being blue, and she would like not be unmotivated to even do like the smallest household activities.
Okay. What's your home life like?
So I'm a stay-at-home mom with my 3 kids. They're 7, 4, and 2. So
Got your hands full.
yeah. So they're just like what my life kind of revolves around right now.
Sure. Well, the good thing is there are some options for you.
Okay.
You know, we can help you through this. One of the things I would like to do first is just see where you're at. Would you be willing to fill out like a depression inventory for me? It's a form that you can go through, and it's scaled, so you can just fill out like 1 to 5. There's about 21 questions, and then maybe after that I can see where you're at, and I can make some other suggestions for you.
Okay.
Does that sound okay? All right. Here's this.
Here you go.
Thank you. So I'm going to take a couple of minutes to look through this and score it, and then I'm going to go talk with Dr. Cheney, and I'll come right back and we can continue chatting and getting to know each other a little better. Is that all right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Dr. Cheney.
Hi.
So I just met with Jennifer, and I gave her the depression inventory test, and she definitely has symptomology and tested high for major depressive. I would like you to note that in her chart.
Absolutely.
I think that currently she's pretty stressed at home, and I have some concerns, and I think it would be an important thing for her to have noted in her chart. I'm going to go back and give her a couple of options going forward for some treatment.
Thank you. I knew it would be a good idea for her to talk to you.
Absolutely. So here's this. You can just add that
Thank
right
you.
in there.
So I think you should talk to her about possibly postpartum. I know her kids are 2, 4, and 7, I believe. That could be something that we should look more into maybe soon.
Sure, absolutely. I can definitely pose that to her as well.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, Jennifer. So I talked it over with Dr. Cheney, and we've come up with some ideas that might work for you. So one would be going to see a psychiatrist and maybe getting on some medication. How do you feel about that?
I don't think that's something that I feel very comfortable with. It doesn't really coincide with my beliefs. I don't really want to be putting chemicals and stuff into my body. I'd rather go more natural or homeopathic route.
Okay. Let me look. I think I have a resource that might be helpful for you.
Okay.
I actually have a colleague who is an herbalist in Kennebunk, and would probably be willing to meet with you.
Okay, yeah.
And then one of the other things that might be helpful would be to come back and see me once a week for a while. What about that?
No, I don't think I would want to do that. It's I don't really think that I'll ever be able to have you relate to me on the biracial level.
Okay, that's totally fine. We actually have someone in Portland who is a multicultural specialist, and so she actually spends a lot of her time working with people that have either immigrated here or are, biracial. And her name's Dr. Kudus. Would you like her information as well?
Yeah, I think I'd feel a lot more comfortable going to see
Sure.
her.
Let me write all this down. So, here is the number for the herbalist in Kennebunk. This is Dr. Kudus's information.
Okay.
And then these two last are for immediate crisis support. So if you are finding yourself really, really having a tough day and you just need someone to talk to immediately, these are hotline numbers and they are available 24 hours a day. And they are completely anonymous as well.
Okay.
And then lastly, there's my phone number and my email address should you need to get a hold of me before then.
Okay. Thank
All
you.
right. Absolutely. It was really, really nice to meet you, Jennifer.
You too.
And I hope you all the best.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey.
Hi. So I just kind of wanted more information about how Jennifer went today.
So it went pretty well with Jennifer. I was thinking a little bit more about what you had suggested about the postpartum, and I'm not sure that's applicable to her right now, but I definitely made a note of it in her file. Most of her symptoms and her behavior changes seemed to happen once she moved to Maine, and 2 of her children had already been born. But I think if nothing else improves, it's something we should definitely consider. I also referred Jennifer to the multicultural therapist in Portland, Dr. Kudus, because she wasn't really feeling the connection between the 2 of us, and that's totally okay. We want to find what works best for her.
I definitely feel like it's important to give her a couple options to make her own decision. I felt like it was a little far-fetched, but I just think if nothing else works, we definitely should look into that. But I definitely think it's good to give her some options.
Absolutely. I did pose the idea of going to see a psychiatrist. That is not one that is going to be an option right now for her. But I did give her some information about an herbalist in Kennebunk. So, you know, maybe she can try something more natural that feels more comfortable for her right now.
I definitely think she would like that a lot better.
Yeah. So I also gave her some resources regarding crisis numbers and hotlines in case there should be an acute situation in the next couple of weeks. You know, or, you know, if she doesn't decide to call either of the practitioners, hopefully those numbers will come in handy should she need them.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that was about it. You know, I really hope that she starts to feel better soon.
Soon after Jennifer's meeting at Dr. Cheney's office, she decides to go see the herbalist in Kennebunk, recommended by Megan, to get more insight on all natural options to treat her major depression.
Good morning, Jennifer. I'm so glad you decided to come in and see us. How are you doing?
I'm doing alright.
Do you want to tell me a little bit about what's been going on?
I've just been feeling so down lately. It feels like I have more bad days than good. All of these appointments have just been more stressful than anything else, and I don't feel like we're getting anywhere with my treatment. I haven't found anything that works quite well for me. They keep trying to give me these prescription antidepressants that I'm just too scared to take, and give me all these suggestions to help get me out of my house, away from my children, all things that are way too far out of my comfort zone for me. Sometimes I feel like they don't even look at me as a whole person, they just look at me and only see my depression.
It sounds like you've come to the right place then. There are a couple herbal supplements that we could try to help with your depression. St. John's wort is the most popular. There's Sam E, lavender oil, valerian root, kava, rosemary, and thyme. However, with St. John's wort being the most commonly prescribed and the most reliably effective herbal supplement, that may be the most useful to you. And I have also found that in general, just anything to strengthen the mind-body connection is useful. This can be meditation, acupuncture, a yoga class, anything like that.
I'd like to learn a little bit more about all these different herbal supplements before I decide if I want to try them or not.
I would be happy to help you get a couple websites down and some more information about this program.
My husband and I may be able to work something out if after reading more I decide this is my best option. I'll be sure to look more into it.
Fantastic. Do you have any questions for me?
No, not at the moment.
Well, here is my phone number along with all of these outside resources, and if anything comes up, please do not hesitate to give me a call. I look forward to hearing back from you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I already feel like I'm getting on the right track for my recovery.
After having a successful experience at the herbalist, Jennifer becomes more faithful and decides to call another recommended reference suggested by Megan.
I really think I should probably call that multicultural therapist that Megan told me about.
Who that is? Dr. Kudas's office.
Hi, my name is Jennifer, and I was given your information by Dr. Cheney's office. She said you would help me with some symptoms that I've been having lately. I basically would just like to know what you do, if that's okay.
Yeah, no problem. So I'm a clinical social worker and therapist, and I am basically multicultural based. This means that I work closely with people of different cultures. I work mainly with trauma victims, but I can also work with depression and anxiety, and I also am trained in certain types of yoga and emotional treatments.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know they had counselors like that. I'm Filipino, and I've been feeling really disconnected from my roots since I moved here from the West Coast several years ago.
Oh, well, believe it or not, they do. Would you be interested in maybe coming and seeing me?
Yeah, I would. That sounds really nice.
Yeah, no problem. Also, in the meantime, I would probably recommend checking out the Filipino Heritage Group in Maine. I know a few people who go there, and they really have seemed to enjoy it.
Oh, really? I didn't know Maine offered that. What do they do there?
Well, basically, they just have a group of several hundred people. It's basically just a social platform to want to kind of get together and cook or just hang out. They do have events on occasion, but it doesn't really have to be an event. It's basically just to get you back into your heritage with people that you're comfortable with. They also have lots of moms and dads and children and older adults who are there, so just feel free to check that out and get reconnected if that's what you're looking for.
Yeah, I most definitely will check that out. I'll see you next week.
Yeah, no problem. Great talking with you.
Bye.
Hey Jennifer, how are things?
Pretty good.
So what brings you in to see me today?
Well, I was given this reference by Megan, who was at Dr. Cheney's office, and I just really haven't been feeling right since I moved to Maine. I'm away from a lot of my friends and family that I had that supported me with a lot of things, and my husband Jeremy works a lot. He's a physician at Maine Med, and he just works long hours, so I'm tired all the time and really unmotivated to do a lot of things.
Yeah. So is that it, or do you feel worse than that? Because I do work with trauma victims, anxiety, and depression. Does that seem like something that seems to be going on?
I think the anxiety and depression aspect probably, but not the trauma.
Not as much?
Not really
Okay.
trauma.
Well, just to let you know, like over the phone, I did tell you a little bit of what I do, but just to a little bit more of an extent, like I said, I do yoga and stuff like that and do a lot of physical and emotional treatments. However, I am a therapist, so I do like to talk and figure out more about you, and hopefully if you're comfortable over visits, we can kind of figure that out. It's very loose, so if you don't want to talk about anything, that's fine. We can always just do the physical aspect. I remember I recommended the Filipino Heritage Center. Did you end up ever going?
I haven't checked it out yet, but I was planning on
You plan
going.
on it?
Yep.
Okay. Well, one really great thing I recommend about that is how you said that you had a really great support system before you came here. Yeah, I know that isolation definitely doesn't make things any better. So I highly recommend checking that place out. I know that you said that you stay at home a lot with your kids.
Yep.
Yeah, so there are a lot of mothers a part of that program. I know a few. They're really, really great, just kind of like a fun social platform. Maybe you can really make those reconnections again. A lot of them do have kids, so you can also just get your kids out there as well if that's a concern.
Okay.
Awesome. So if you would like to maybe start some treatment forms, would you like that with me?
Yeah, I think so.
And how did things go when you were, if you don't mind me asking, when you were with Megan? Did you ever accept any types of treatment?
I didn't really feel that comfortable with Megan. I didn't think she could really relate to me on the cultural level that I wanted someone to, so I'm hoping that I can get that with you since you're the multicultural and you've worked with a variety of different cultures.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like that is a problem. Sometimes nowadays people don't consider that aspect, so I understand the concern, and that does play a big role in a lot of things. So let's just make sure we address that. And I do really focus on people's culture a lot because I think that it's very important, and I would like to kind of integrate that into your treatment plan with me. So if you would like to continue, that's great, and I completely understand why you didn't take those options. But I also would really recommend getting connected back into a community that you're comfortable with, and the Filipino Heritage Center really offers that. And it's in Westbrook, so it's not too far.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, let's get started.
After having a positive and comfortable experience with Dr. Kudos, Jennifer decides to stick with her treatment plan to see how it goes. She ends up researching herbal medication further and calls the herbalist about her decision.
Hello? Hi, Jen. Just wanted to call and see how your research was coming. Do you want to set up another appointment or anything?
I don't think so. I kind of have a lot going on right now, and my kids have a lot of stuff going on, and they're kind of what comes first to me.
Yeah, I completely understand. Whatever makes you the most comfortable, whatever's easiest for you. If you want, you can try visiting a natural food store to try and do this on your own. You can see what you can find there. Would you like some recommendations for natural food stores in the area?
Yeah, I would love that.
All right, well, there's one in Kennebunk, right near my office, actually. It's called New Morning Natural Foods. And if you're in the Scarborough area, there is one there too. It's right on Route 1 called Lewis's Natural Marketplace.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. And just remember, St. John's wort is typically the most effective and usually the most taken for depression and everything that you're experiencing.
Yes.
So you should look around for that, and always remember, if you have any questions or anything, you can feel free to call me.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Once Jennifer finally feels she is on the right track, she decides to take Dr. Kudas's suggestion about the Filipino Heritage Group in Westbrook and go to a meetup.
Can I sit here? Yeah, of course. What's your name?
I'm Jennifer.
Oh, hi Jennifer. I'm Liv. Nice to meet you.
You too.
Are you new here?
I am.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
I was just recommended this by a friend.
Oh, yeah. It's a great place. It's great. Are you like new to like the area?
I moved here about 3 years ago,
Yeah.
but I'm just trying to find a connection back to my roots, you know?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of great people here. I really found like a lot of friends I was comfortable with.
So do you have any kids?
I do actually. I have a few older kids. They're really great. They actually speak Tagalog and they're in the Portland school system. Do you have kids?
Oh, yeah, I have 3 kids. I have a 7-year-old, a 4, and a 2.
Oh.
I was actually looking for somewhere that they could go that they could learn some Tagalog.
Yeah, where are they currently?
In the Scarborough school systems.
Yeah, I know that like a lot of other school systems don't have much like culturally based things, but in Portland they have like this multicultural, multilingual center integrated into like their school system. And even I don't think that currently they have anybody who speaks Tagalog like a part of it, but they have so many kids that volunteer and help the younger kids. And actually my kids are involved over at the high school. It's a big help. They have their head principal actually a part of that system speaks Tagalog. So if you want your kids to get back into that, I would absolutely recommend their school system.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. There's also this really great preschool called Roots and Fruits, because you said your kids were quite younger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's really great. It's like culturally based, so they really incorporate stuff like that too. And it's also right next to this Spiral Yoga studio, and you can bring your kids with you. That's one place that we go a lot.
Oh, that's awesome. We'll
Yeah.
definitely have to check that out.
Yeah, absolutely. We're actually going to go to the All Natural Food Store if you would like to come.
Oh, wow. Okay.
After lots of different meetings and suggestions, Jennifer chooses to stick with the multicultural therapist where she is most comfortable. She ends up finding a great community of people she enjoys at the Filipino Heritage Center where she finally feels like she belongs. She has occasional checkups with Dr. Cheney where she discusses her major depression. Jennifer considers Liv's suggestion on the Roots and Fruits preschool and possibly putting her oldest through the Portland school system, which is more culturally sensitive. As of right now, she feels most comfortable having her kids by her side to do yoga with her new group of close friends at the Spiral Tree. Jennifer keeps up with over-the-counter remedies for her major depression, but knows who to call and where to go if things ever worsen. These references are repeated to her each visit when she sees Dr. Cheney.